Sing Grace and Walter? Huh? You got that Dusty Cup later? Kick ass, man. Somebody hit my music.
Let's get to the money.
Let's get to the
money.
Let's get to the
money. Let's get to the motherfucking money.
Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies. Woke up in the morning, grab my little black book. Yesterday can eat a dick, cause we lost by the hook. Can't win them all, so you never see me get shook. Today's a new day, the bookmaker's getting cooked. When I spot a dirty K of 4 units getting played, always find the value, I would never be afraid. Scared money don't win, but I'm not going all in unless I see a bet I love, then I put my balls on a bookie's chin. Let it all soak in, doubling my bread, winning money with my friends. If you got the itch and you wanna go big, follow Sharpie bets and you gon' really fucking win. This is not financial advice, it's entertainment. But if I find the right price, believe I'm parlaying it. You can see my spreadsheet, I'm winning, not just saying it. Profit in the green every week, I'm never negative. I can bet an ace or a shitty old picture. Pick the right spots cause I'm the K-pop whisperer. Shut up when I speak until you finally get the picture. I'm the best in the world, tell me you getting richer. Fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, 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 fuck the bookies. FTV screaming fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies, fuck the bookies. Middle finger in the air screaming fuck the bookies.
Let's get to the motherfucking monies.
And here we go.
Yeah! Welcome to the Balking Dead, fellas, where there is no sleep for the wicked. As I did finally get some damn sleep after the disaster week turned around some, and we're now down 1.8 units this week, but we're 0-0 today. Very small card on this moving day with only 4 games to talk and only 3 in the black book. So we will also touch us on some Marcus Strowman today, as well as I normally don't like talking guys not in the black book. With it being Thursday, we start this show off with a bang. If you're from England, it's a home run. But on this show, it's called Jack of the Day with
Well, see you later.
What's good, my guy? Always good to see you. Once again, you come through with some good plus money on what tends to be the worst days in the week to bet baseball, and that's moving days when you show up on this show.
Yeah, hey, if I could just my hitter props with my sides and totals, I'd be doing a lot better.
Dude,
these Wednesdays and Thursdays.
I'm learning that Sunday K props are not for overs. I think one of my 16 or 13 guys that went that day, one went over. And last week it was like that as well. And I'm just like,
it's
maybe
not all the time
on Sunday.
Hitter props is maybe so home run props on Sundays have notoriously been.
That goes with me right now, saying I'm getting yopped on Sundays. But dude, that Lou Bob was fucking beautiful. As I was on Verlander to get the win, and the only guy to get the fucking home run yesterday was old Lou Bob himself.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. Hey, bro, that's all it takes, and it was great. Started the day off terrible. I did, bro. I was like, oh fuck, here we go again. But came back strong, hit the 10-pack and Castillo to get us over the even mark. So we turned it around, guys. We turned it around. We gave out Burnsies this morning, but that don't count for show picks. But it does count in the bank account. Let's get into the first game on the board you did want to talk about. And that's a game I'm going to touch on, at least one of the guys. And that's the Cardinals at the Cubs. And a lot of these cards see Strowman well once I dug into this. So who are you looking at back in here?
Yeah, I mean, I always want to, especially starting, is fade Mats, and that guy's giving me fits. You know, years back when I bet him or bet against him. But when he started, it hasn't been well. He's come out of the pen, okay, and I do like some Cubs, and I think he gives up a few runs. But you're right. Even though Strowman at home, I think is solid, the value here is just too good on this guy. And the last couple games, not great, but he's still hitting well. And he's in the 2 hole, which I guess is fine. And his RBI is at 205, but that's if you want to touch his RBI. That's for Mike. And I'm not going to do it today. But I take in Goldschmidt. It's just too obvious here, Sharpie. 9 for 24, 2 doubles, 3 homers. I got to take the guy. And I'm on his over 1.5 plus 130, and the Jacks plus 550. I'm just going to roll with him here on the short card. I got to take it.
How much was that at 1.5 at?
130.
Damn, bro, good plus money. And yeah, I usually don't break guys down in the book, so I ended up doing like a 1.5 page write-up on Marcus Strowman today, and holy God, like 4 of those guys are hitting over 300 versus this guy in 15 plate appearances or more. Like 15 plate appearances is what I consider real, unless there's something screaming, alarming, like, hey, bro, you have to pay attention to these 9 at-bats. The guy's got 5 jacks off of him, or he struck out 5 times in those 9 at-bats. Then I'll pay attention to something like that. If it's like an alarming screaming bell, I personally go for 15 at-bats for K-props and whatnot. How many at-bats do you look for your hitting props?
You know what? It just varies. The more, obviously, I like to see. Like someone like Robert yesterday, this guy's playing great, obviously. The number was over 4-1, and he was 3 for 3 off Verlander with a double. Like certain circumstance like that, I'm just like, all right, I think this is the move to make. But yeah, the more the better. And you mentioned they've seen a ton of him, over the years. And he's had good starts, and he's gotten hit hard. But yeah, 285. This is 140 at bats, just basically, or more. And a few guys have good numbers.
285 team collectively is not good, bro. Like, yikes. So, yeah, look at them Cardinals and look at my guy because he's been hot, bro. Goldilocks over 1.5 at that plus 130.
And
with the sprinkle on the home run at 550. What's up?
It seems like this is just a Cubs bet. Like when I look at Mats, bet them. But, Cards need to make a push. They've won 5 in a row. They won again yesterday, getting 4 right away. Maybe they're hot. This could be a little tricky, but Strowman good at home. We'll see.
My breakdown is that, too. If I was to bet it, I'd take Strowman first 5 here, bro. It's just that. Yeah, I would have to take the Cubs bats and I'd have to trust them. But there are some dudes like Gomes and stuff that do yop lefties in this lineup that I just wish Dansby Swanson was in it because they are just a different team without him. But definitely was leaning Cubs first 5, even though I think he gives up a couple runs. I don't think he's perfect, but I think bats does get touched today by this team who has been hitting lefties somewhat decently. It's just no Swanson makes me want to cry at times. Your second game, guys, which happens to be the last game of the day, and it is a shitty card, so we have to make and do with what's given to us, and that's the Astros at the A's. And the man, oh man, did I talk some shit about not taking A's batters yesterday, and they kicked me straight in my fucking cojones as they went out and scored a boatload of runs, as I said, bet you ain't taking an A's backer. Well, I won't say that this time, so who you taking in this Astros-A's game?
Yeah, this seems A's, get a bunch of runs, back-to-back wins over the Red Sox. But one thing, even at home, Hogan Harris has just gotten hit. That's just a fact. He's just going not 4 innings, really nothing more than that, especially his last 5 or 6 starts. And it's to the Stros. And I didn't see enough. I didn't love it. I want Tucker here. And he hits lefties great, a lefty. It doesn't matter, righties or lefties. And it's okay. You can look his way. His over 1.5 plus 110. I think his RBI is like plus 135. And his home run's 4-1. But I'm going to guy who's been a little bit better. I've stayed off him. He's gotten a little bit hot, which is Abreu, but his aren't as good. I'm going Bregman here. His home run's plus 550. I got to take it. And this is a problem too. I'm going a little bit against. This guy dominated lefties, Sharpie, to start his career. The last year or two, he has not been great against lefties. Like this year, he's hitting like a $168. He only has like 88 at bats or whatever it is. But a guy who was hitting well over 300 couple years, he hit 350, whatever, 360 in 2018, 17, 18, 19. So off lefties, he hasn't been great as of late. But I got to take this big number. He's starting to see the ball better. So I'm on his Jack plus 550, and I threw in his over 1.5 plus 135 because I think they get 4 or 5, 3 or 4 off of Harris. It always can be a shitty, sleepy spot there in that Coliseum, at night. But I think the Astros can get some runs off them there.
I mean, the Astros throughout the years, they don't take days off, bro. And this is a series where they should just go in and fucking wallop them, bro. And they've got the manager and the team, bro. Like,
yeah,
they're getting Alvarez back, and once he starts to get a little bit more, but no, Bregman's too good too good not to be hitting that well versus lefties right now. Like, he's just too good. You just got to throw it into the zone to him. He is way too much of a patient hitter. Like, he's a Max Muncy in this type of ways for me, bro. Like, he waits for his pitch and waits for his pitch and waits for his pitch. It's like, come on, bro. Just swing sometimes.
Yeah, and listen, I'll wait because he gets one, and that might not be great at sometimes because the walk or whatever. You could look at his ribby, might be solid too. I looked at a few of them. Like I said, they were just a little bit low. Obviously, they think they're gonna get runs. It's because Harris walks. This guy can walk 3, 4, 5 guys, Sharpie. I'm sure you know that. But I think there's runs there, so I'm on that.
This Alec Bregman play of yours correlates with what Mike is going to be talking about with one of his RBIs, because Alec Bregman bats in front of that man. So it's kind of nice when two guys correlate who don't speak to each other. They both see the same guy get in touch.
Yeah, and like I said, I like Tucker. You can take him for all you want. And if I could get a little bit better, I would. I was hoping like 475 or higher. I was going to put a little on his jack as well, but I'm only seeing around 4-1. That's it for me. I want to hit up the chat. Parlangel, my dude, what's going on? Justin, as always. AOD, LG. Shout out to all you guys. Akbar, what's up, my man? The other game, I just didn't find enough. Sharpie, I like it. If I were go back to my guy, Arozarena. I'm staying off that O's Rays. That's basically the other game. I think you could look a few spots. They just haven't got any runs lately, so I really don't want to put my money on anybody. And maybe they break out today. First Gibson, maybe not. I'm gonna watch that one. I didn't want my money on any guys, but you could look around, in that game and find something. There's a few guys with solid numbers, but in the end, I just stayed off.
Cool. For those showing up real quick for the betting recap of Jack of the Day, smash that like button, as it does help the algorithms a lot. We had a super small card. Connor started the day with a 2-pack for the people. He starts the day in the Cards and Cubs game, taking Goldie Goldschmidt over 1.5 bases at plus 130 with the sprinkle on the home run at plus 550. Then he's going to finish the day with the last game of the day with Alec Bregman of the Houston Astros, as well as over 1.5 at plus 135 with a plus 550 sprinkle on that home run as well.
Mike, you got to come on and give the RBIs, man. I ain't got no RBIs. There's no thunder stolen here, my man.
Hey, Mike's over here doesn't even know that I'm over here in my head saying the same thing. Like, bro, did you get the message that Mike told me of the guys he's on today? Because all your leans are on Mike's guys. I fucking love it, bro. That just means that they're good spots.
We're just looking at the same thing. We have a small sample size.
4 games to look at, and you got 2 guys who bet hitting props, and they're all.
I'd like to be on that Rays, like I just mentioned. I still think you can be. I just am off. They're not hitting. They're not getting any runs, and maybe they break out. Blah blah blah. I just,
We appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate it, my man.
As always, man. If you can, tell these people where to fucking find you, as they should already know, and let them know what you be doing, because golf, bro, golf's on right now.
Yeah, I was hoping Max Homa could push there. I had 66-1 first round lead, but it doesn't look like he's going to get there. But I like how it's come out. All these guys, we got a few no names, up there, but I like where these guys are at. Some of the best players. If you're even or even an over, 1 over right now, I think you're fine after day 1. But just check me out, Connor Mac Picks, as always. Check me out tonight. If you're ever in the car on the radio, Sports Map Radio, I'm on. I'm normally on every week, sometimes not, but 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. We'll be talking some British Open. We'll be talking maybe some college football, NFL, as we did last week. So check me out there. Appreciate it, my dude.
Appreciate you, bro, as always. Until next time, that's Connor Mac.
Peace.
And now we get to talk what I do best.
Well, see you later.
On this show, guys, we will talk the opening line on a player's K-prop and then the best line available 30 minutes prior to the show. And then we will compare them to what PrizePicks has to offer. Of course, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks, so if you haven't, go on over there and use that promo code PubSports. Get a match deposit on your first deposit up to 100, minimum of 25. Excuse me. We also have another sponsor. If you don't know, we Dubby, guys, a clean energy powder, no come down to your day, simply by scanning the QR code on screen and using the best promo code on earth, Pub Sports. You're going to get 10% off your first order. And yeah, thank me later. Let's get into what I do best, guys. Pitching props. First guy on the board, number 17 in the black book, Pablito Lopez, as this game goes off in 13 minutes. Pablo Lopez at the Mariners this year has a 30.2 strikeout percentage and a 6.2 walk percentage. Open him up 7+ -140. Best line available now is 8+ -140 on DraftKings. That's a whole line, whole move with the whole juice. PrizePicks has him at an 8. Hits allowed under over are at a 4.5, where the lineup today, since Kelenic went to the IL, is now 5 righties, 4 lefties. Now we start our day with what was a giant line move on Pablo Lopez, as he opened up last night on FanDuel at 6.5 at -140, and within 40 minutes was a 7.5 with the same juice. And I give you my bets on this show, and a few times this week I've got the shit end stick of the line. Well, not today, Junior, as I seen this line move into 7.5 and got in last night for a half unit on the over 7.5 at +128. Yeah. Guys, come on now, guys. They going to open them up at a 6.5 -140. I ain't looking to pay no juice. Took him up, and I got a freaking good plus money spot now where he's at today. So I had a half unit alt parlay hooked to Blake Snell with Pablo 7, and Blake Snell shit the fucking bed on me and hooked me once again. But life's a bitch and you married one. But what I'm going to get at is Pablo Lopez pulled down to a 7 is great to hook to anything. I think that's one of the lock of the days. I think that's the best thing you can hook to anything to get any type of juice down you want on any type of K-Proc. Now, hear me out. And I'm still going to tell you guys it's worth a half unit bet on a 7.5, as I told Team Sharpie that this is a spot from the baseball gods, and just because the one book opened it up at a wrong number and it's at where the number should be at now doesn't mean you still don't need to bet it. There are guys out there that are like, I didn't get that number. Motherfucker, not everybody got legal books, bruh. So is what it is, guys. I would still bet them for a half unit at this juice price, as we look at their numbers, guys. It's a spot from the baseball gods. They're walking at a nice 9%. They have a team isolated power of 169, yet they're striking out at a 27.5% clip, while being the second worst team in whiff percentage. And that's what you don't want when seeing Pablito, as this year alone, he's faced 8 teams in the top 8 whiff percentage, and he is 6-2 to the over 7.5, averaging 8.5 strikeouts. And yeah, that's why alt piece of the day is taking Pablo down to 7+, as when he has faced one of these teams in the top 8 whiff percentage, he is 8-0 to the number 7. Yeah, that's in my eyes right there, guys. He hasn't missed in 8 opportunities, and now he gets the second best team, worse in the whiff percentage category, with the worst being the team that he's on. So let's get to it, guys. We've got Pablo on the road this year. Actually, he's been better this year. At home versus lefties, he's striking them out at a nice 24.8%. We're on the road where he's at today. It goes to an elite 27.6%. Then versus the right-handed sided at home, he has a Strider-esque 37% strikeout percentage and still an elite 30% strikeout percentage versus the right-handed side on the road. This is a team who does stack lefties, and Pablo versus lefties on the road has been a machine. And the fact that we get the second worst team in whiff percent all adds up for a giant day for Pablo. Next guy on the board is the guy facing him in this, and that's number 48 in the black book, George Kirby versus the Twins. This year he has an ugly 20.7 strikeout percentage with what is the best walk percentage in the league, 2.4%. Morning line 7+ -102 on FanDuel, where you can now get him at some +105 to that number on MGM. PrizePicks has him at a 6.5, whereas hits allowed under over are at a 5.5 on PrizePicks. Lineup is 5 lefties, 4 righties for your 20s. Now we get to talk the other side of this matchup, and that's George Kirby versus the Twins. And no fault to Luis Castillo, but they've been jumping people up versus the Twins before what just happened last night. And that's what we get here, a 6.5 when this man should be a 5.5 with a little bit of juice on it, if we're not being taxed with the Twins tax. And the books are doing this strictly because no one is betting the unders, and their job is to get money both ways. So when they take just over money, they have to jump these guys up to give them a chance at winning as well, because no book wants to be on the hook for that much one-way action. So we know by now, guys, we like to pick on the Twins as they are striking out at a 27% clip the last 15 days, which is pretty close to their year-long numbers. Now, when I look at my book, it tells me Kirby has only been jumped up 2 times this year. One versus the Tigers, and he didn't come close to the 6.5. The other was versus the Rays, where he cashed it by the hook. And both teams had 4 lefties in the lineup that day, and that has to be mentioned as Kirby has a issue striking out lefties. And we've got 5 of them here. And one of them is that pesky son of a bitch who made a case to be the Twins' leadoff hitter, and he's in the 1 hole today. And that's Eduardo Julian. And in his last 14 games, he has 27 plate appearances, batting .625 while only punching out 4 times. So I've got some conflicting theories going on in my head as I want this man's under with Julian leading off and the 5 lefties in the lineup. Now, the problem I'm having with that is the one time Kirby hit his over is when they jumped him up versus the Rays. And the Rays are top 10 in whiff percentage. And when you walk people at an unheard of 2.7%, you need whiff as you're a fucking strike thrower, guys, if I've ever seen one. Yeah. And we all know what that wins brings next to their name, guys. So I've just got to let this go, as this is the worst team in the league when it comes to whiff percentage, and the second worst team is on the other side. So the lineups are out, and I just have conflicting theories here. Like, I do lean the under hard, but is it the whiff percentage that is key for this man? Because if so, then he probably still goes out and hits it. So I ain't been hot, and we're getting back on track, and I've got to smack the spots that need to be smacked, because Sharpie ain't trying to get smacked, guys. At the end of the day, I do bet my own shit, and I like to not bang my head on the wall when walls need to be banged. Next guy on the book, Tyler Glasnow versus the Orioles. Number 4 in the black book this year has a 35.1 strikeout percentage and an 8.9 K percentage. Opened him up this morning, 8+ minus 155 on MGM, 9+ minus 102 on FanDuel. Best line available now is at that plus 110 on BetMGM. DraftKings does have a plus 115. Now we get us a spot where the numbers say run for your fucking life, as Tyler Glasnow gets the second matchup with the O's this year. After the first meeting, he got clocked, going 4.1 innings, 6 earned runs while having 7 punchies. And their numbers are actually better now when he faced them back on June 20th. And they are next to the Cleveland Guardians the last 15 days in not striking out. Top of the league in isolated power with a stupid 213. So the numbers say no. But we know on this show, numbers don't mean everything. So let's try to figure this out, guys. So Tyler Glasnow, we know the lineup will favor this man, where not just this year, but through his career, has a 14 K per 9 versus the left-handed side, compared to a solid 11.6 versus the right-handed side. Now let's go see what these birds who they've seen in the last 15 days, guys. And their numbers say they're gods, so have they seen any? Let's check it out. Who would we bet on? They've only seen 2 guys that we would put they've seen the Dodgers, okay, but 2 guys who don't belong in the fucking league, as in Grove and Sheehan. They seen Alcantara. He went 6 innings with 5 strikeouts. Sonny Gray went 6 innings with 5 strikeouts. Where Joe Ryan had a 10-piece on the way to getting baptized in front of national television, only going 4.1 innings. And that's saying something, guys, as Gray and Ryan both struggle striking out lefties. And we know this is a team who loads up lefties on the regular. And those are the guys who we would bet on. Yet none of them have the numbers as Glasnow, as the next closest strikeout percentage to Glasnow of those 3 is Joe Ryan with a 29% strikeout percentage on the year. Yet Ryan has a 7.9 career K per 9 versus the left-handed side, where Glasnow damn near doubles that. Yeah, 14 doubles. So the one guy in this lineup that Glasnow owns is Cedric Mullins, and he just went to the IL. So we can kiss those 2 strikeouts goodbye, as he struck out 5 times in 9 at-bats. And Aaron Hicks is the only other Oriole who's seen Glasnow more than 10 times with 12 plate appearances, and he's only got 1 punch-out to his name. So at the moment, other than the 6 lefties and Glasnow at home says play, and that's just not enough for me to get in, guys, as I still do lean the over, as good pitching beats good hitting every day of the week. And Glasnow at home throughout his career matches up with his year small sample size, and that's his strikeouts going up at least a strikeout per 9 at home than on the road. So this is definitely a hold my beer spot. And when I look at Glasnow's game logs, he seems to flourish versus teams with bad whiff percentage. And those have been his best games on the year. And that's not what the Orioles do, as they're a top 10 team in whiff percentage, 1% better than league average. Now, you do pick on them by chasing. They are a team who will chase. So if Glasnow is going to go more predominant slider than he is heavy fastball today, Glasnow will hit his K prop. So it all depends on what Glasnow decides to use as his pitch mix, as he normally goes 40-40 on his fastball slider while sprinkling in his changeup. And he's going to need to drop that fastball down to a 33% today and just keep them honest and get them to go fishing. So I can't look under. There's no way I would bet Glasnow under, but I just can't go over, as I ain't been hot enough to be running this hold my beer spots. As I did lean the fucking over in the hold my beer spot for Spencer Strider today, but my pussy ass stayed back, as he did what? Yeah! 13 strikeouts. So let's talk the last guy in the book before we get into ribeyes with Mike. And it's a guy I didn't even want to talk on, and I may have wrote way too much about. And that's Marcus Strowman at the Cardinals. 21.3 strikeout percentage on the year with an 8.8 walk percentage. Opened him up at 5+, minus 152 on FanDuel, where your projected lineup is 6 righties, 3 lefties. Hits allowed on PrizePicks is at a 5, where he's also at a 5 flat for his strikeouts on PrizePicks. Now we got a guy not in the black book, and I normally skip these guys, but with it being such a small card, I thought I'd talk one more pitcher. So it's Strowman versus the Cardinals, and it will be his 3rd time this year seeing this team, where the first time was at home, where he's at today, going 6 innings, 2 earned runs with 6 strikeouts, when the number said no to a K prop and the team was smashing the ball with an isolated power of 175. The second time was in St. Louis, where he got sodomized on live television, going 3.1 innings with 8 hits, 6 runs, 3 of them earned, while only striking out 2, when the number said yes to a K prop, but no, as they were crushing the ball. Even better than with a team isolated power of 190. 170 is considered great. So let's go look at their numbers now. And it says they're middle of the pack in walkouts and strikeout percentages, but their isolated power is actually better than where it was the last 2 times he's faced them, with a elite 196. So let's go see who have they seen in that time span, since it says they're hitting people. They popped Alcantara, as he went 6 innings, 4 earned runs, and he did have 7 strikeouts. Edward Cabrera went 5 innings, 0 earned runs with 6 strikeouts, where Giolito had himself 6 strikeouts, 7 innings while giving up 2 earned runs. Dylan Cease, he got hit hard, but he still went 6 innings, giving up 5 earned runs with 8 punchouts, while Udi Perez went out and did the damn thing, 6 innings, 1 earned runs with 7 punchies. And those are actually a lot of guys in that time span that we would bet on that's seen this team. But the key that I use to beat these cards is high velocity, as they have just had an issue with anyone who could touch 95 on a regular basis, as every one of those guys in our book that I just named, other than Giolito, has some gas on their fastball. So let's go check out Strowman's StatCast, and he doesn't really use a true fastball, only 8%, and touches 91.5 miles per hour. And that is one of the main reasons why he isn't in the black book, as he throws his cutter and his sinker 56% of the time. And those pitches are used for weak contact and to induce ground balls, as Strowman's ground ball percentage is one of the best in the league, 14% higher than league average. And his fly ball percentage is 7.5% better than league average as well. So when Strowman's on, Strowman goes deep and he's getting his ground balls. So I don't look to back his K prop. I would look to bat his out props. Now let's go look at these hitter versus batter stats since he's seen them quite a bit. And this is where there's no way in fucking hell can I run a guy's K prop with this many people who have seen him. Nootbaar, Corbin, Donovan, and Goldschmidt all have at least 15 plate appearances versus Strowman, and all are hitting 300 or better. So I will always say good pitching beats good hitting, and when Strowman shows up with his work boots on, he's one of the toughest pitchers in the league, and he is at home where this ball field, this is the one ball field you do have to pay attention to the weather and the wind, as the wind blowing out can make a 6.5 be a 11.5 on the total with the same two pitchers on the mound. It shows 10 miles per hour in, and they have a total of 8.5, and they're saying both can get touched here. And to me, I do have no bet, but the lean is Strowman first 5, as this guy at times can be a bitch and get smacked like the last time they faced off. But I know this man carries a chip on the shoulder. And I know he knows he got yopped the last time he seen them as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Strowman shows up like this is the World Series, as they did tag him last year. But it's hard for me to back Strowman with no Swansman in the lineup. So if I was to back him, I would take his outs over, as I do think this man goes 6 innings today. And or I'd look at him first 5, as I do think Matz gets touched. So with us having a very, very small card today, I had to make a call to the bullpen, guys. I went deep, 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 beep, beep. And we got us a special Thursday edition of Ribeyes with Mike. So kick back and grab your notebooks as we get us a steak and not salmon.
I didn't want salmon! I said it 4 times! Wedding is horseshit.
Yo!
Love my producer. I'm so glad he's back. And before we get into our guy Mike, I haven't taken the time to say congratulations to the newest married man in the pub sports family. Big Show fucking picks, bro. Congratulations, bro. You did the damn thing. And like I told you beforehand, your wife looked like she was the happiest person in the world at your wedding. And that's what it's about, bro. So congratulations to you, your family, and to your kid that's on its way. Yeah, let's get into baseball. Yeah! So how you doing, Mike? Appreciate you for showing up. Thank you as always. I know I called you at the last second, and I know you were busy, but thank you.
Yeah, man. Listen, dude, anytime you give me the ring, you know I want to come in there and share some wisdom and insights with you guys. And I'll say shout out to our guy, Connor Mack. There's a hitting guy that knows what the hell's going on and a guy I respect with this place. So when we kind of joke back and forth, it's all about saying, hey, we're kind of looking and seeing the scoreboard the same way. And anytime that happens, I get really excited, and it kind of got me thinking about an audible, Sharpie. So I know you said we had a couple of minutes. If it's okay with you, I want to change things up just a touch here, and I've got 2 spots on one game, and I want to add a spot as well. So I'm gonna give you guys my entire card today, if that's okay.
Yeah, bro, we got the time. I only had 4 pitchers, and that's why I called and asked. I'm like, bro, we got to talk baseball, and I'm down to talk baseball. So let's get to the money then. We'll start off with the 2 I already got, and you add in when you have to add in.
Sounds good, brother.
For those, all right, guys, smash the damn like button if you already haven't, guys. I'm tired of asking for it because I look over and I don't see the likes. I know minus 1.8 units for the week is like my worst week since fucking mid-May, but yeah, this week ain't done, bitches. So first game on the board that Mike wanted to talk about, guys, is one of the teams that I already talked about, and we're talking a divisional American League East matchup between the Baltimore Orioles and Tampa Bay Rays. And obviously we know who our boy's looking at here, because Connor Mack was trying to steal our boy's thunder. And I was saying it in my head too. I just was like, dang, man, can you save some meat for Mike? Save some meat for Mike. He's got the steaks. Who you looking at?
Hey, man, just give me the T-bone. I'll gnaw off the rest of it that's left there, dude. I like it rare anyways, so it's all good, man. It's again, 2 guys looking at the scoreboard, seeing it very clearly. And I'm going to go to our guy, Randy Arozarena. All-star game, home run derby, phenom and finalist for us, made some great cash on him. The thing about the All-Star game, and let me take a step back and say, when it comes to the AL East, what we saw is the AL East, when they were playing non-divisional opponents, They were winning at over a 75% rate the first half of the season. All-Star break comes in. We've got series regression or baseball regression, expected to see some lows against things like Texas, who I think is one of the hottest teams out there in baseball. They're leading their division, and they're getting a lot of shade right now, but it's okay and it's understandable. Now, guess what? When the AL East was playing head-to-head, they were winning at about a 50% rate. Regression, in this case, is positive. I think it's progression, not positive regression. And so when you look at a positive progression perspective, those AL East teams, something's got to give. Oh, and by the way, the Baltimore Orioles were winning at a huge clip across the AL East. That's got to give. And I like this spot here where Randy was kind of down. The All-Star break forces a guy to change up his swing and his pattern. He's trying to lob meatballs out of the park, and he's trying to do it 50, 60 times over the course of a 5-minute span. Naturally, you're going to lose a little bit of your feel, your vision, and your overall confidence when it comes to going out there and facing a 95-mile-an-hour whack. So what they do, they gave him yesterday off. They said, Randy, don't worry about yesterday. We got you. It's all good. And he's coming back now. He's playing his divisional opponent. He's in a situation where he's got a 429 specifically against Kyle Big Bob Gibson out there. 7 at-bats. He's got 3 hits, no RBIs, but the guys in front of him, Yandy Diaz, is getting on base. 2+ hits, 3 out of 5 games. Franco and Raleigh are guys that can be of concern as well. So I'm all over Randy Arozarena at +145. I think the Tampa Bay Rays get the smackdown on this game, and we'll move on to the next.
And I mean, I was worried myself about Glasnow getting popped today, honestly. So it's either gonna be a easy fucking over or an easy Rays spot, because dude, ain't nobody afraid of Gibson. And I'm not. Yeah.
And Randy's got home runs in 5 out of 7 games specifically against Baltimore. So he's a guy that feels the confidence when he gets in there. He's coming off that day of rest. And I just think it's a great spot overall for those sluggish Tampa bats to get hot again.
I've actually, from what I've picked up on this year, is they've played better at home, bro. They just do play better at home. I don't know. Maybe it's because they sleep in their beds. Maybe because, their wife gives them the old hamdulillah. I don't know, bro, but the Rays have played better at home than on the road. And it seems like a lot of these East Coast teams and places that aren't legal in marijuana, when they come to the West Coast, they're really tired. Their bats aren't there. I think they're stoned out of their fucking gourds, bro. When you were in California to Seattle, you got legal pot shops up and down, man. These guys are able to do whatever they want. It's legal in baseball. So, I think these guys are a little partaking on the West Coast a little too much, but they're just not used to it at the end of the day. So let's finish this segment up as we've got an audible to call, as my boy Trey be doing audibles and be giving me the winners. Too bad Summer League's over, bro. Fuck, I need some more money. But we're going to head into the last game of the day, and what is probably the hottest hitter next to Abreu on this team. And we're going to look at this Astros and A's game. And once again, the Thunder's been stolen, but who you looking at?
Yeah, man, we got a 2-pack in this spot here. So we'll go with a double dip, and then I got a bonus spot for everybody as well. So straight up, I'm going to Tucker. Tucker's leading that team in hits, on-base percentage, and RBIs. He does a lot better on the road than at home when it comes to his RBI perspective. And he just came off a donut against Colorado at Colorado. He doesn't feel good about that. He's got an RBI in his last couple of games against Oakland as well. Here's a guy with the lineup and the Houston bats the way they are in a situation where they've got wind blowing out slightly to right field at 14 miles an hour. Tucker's got too much skill and gift out there not to get it done. Limited at-bats and opportunities when it comes to facing Hogan Harris. It's a lefty versus lefty matchup, though, and I think it's a good opportunity at +140. I'll pivot over to my second guy as well to keep things rolling, is Chas McCormick. At +185, I had to put Chas on my card, and I picked it down to Tucker, but I did have Chas on my card as well. He's a +185 spot. Chas McCormick might be the hottest guy in the batting stats post All-Star break. So, you got a team that I expect to get the club out and beat down Oakland. I think they're going to get multiple runs in this game. And we've got Chas McCormick. Since the All-Star break, he's averaging, I think he's got 4 home runs in his last 5 games. We know home runs lead to RBIs. He's 321 over the last 10 games with 6 doubles since the All-Star break. He's got 2.6 bases. He's averaging in his last 10 games as well. He's just a hot bat right now. Club on bat or bat on ball leads to RBIs at plus 185. I couldn't leave him off the card. I'm going to have a little same game parlay that I orientate in there with Tucker as well. And I'll lead over to my last spot just to keep things rolling, Sharpie, is the Cubs. I went with Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner is priced at plus 230. You know, I like that sweet spot. You guys have heard me talk about it before when it comes to that plus 160, plus 165 range. You know, I kind of opened my eyes up the other day with a guy in Louis Arise who was plus 230 and then plus 215, and he banged out 2 RBIs as well in that Miami spot. So now as I'm looking at the lineup here and I'm looking at a situation with the Cubs, I expect the Cubs to put the club on the ball when it comes to the Cardinals. Divisional matchup. We've got Steven Matz. Not such a big Steven Matz guy. He's 0-7 out there when it comes to the Cardinals lineup and starting. Nico Hoerner is 371 at-bats with 54 RBIs. He's the strong guy. He's the confident guy in the leadoff position out there for the Chicago Cubs. Plus 230 was a situation where I just couldn't pass it up. The guy's bat is hot. He's seeing it well, and he's playing a guy that can potentially throw meatballs in Steven Matz. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one cash in the first inning. Nico Hoerner in the leadoff spot. We know he's going to get 4, maybe 5 at-bats as well, which definitely bodes well to getting those opportunities to get out there. The bottom of the lineup and Mancini, Amaya, and Wisdom have come to life as of late, so there should be ducks on the pond when he gets up in the second and third at-bats as well. So I took Nico Hoerner at plus 230 out there to round out my card. I've got all 4 of them on my card. Those are my full card of RBIs today.
I love what you said, but this don't make sense. How are we going to get an RBI in the first inning, bro? If they bat around and this fool gets an RBI, I'm going to send you $20, Mike, because I'm like, that's not happening. So there you go, bro.
He's going to knock it. It's a home run.
If they bat I guess you're right. You're right. I'm a fucking dumbass. Yeah. So now if he hits a home run, I got to send you $20. Fuck, I'm going to go bet his home run prop now. Cover my ass real quick, huh? Yeah. So appreciate you guys for those showing up for the recap of Ribeyes with Mike. Do us a favor and smash that like button, as it does help the algorithms a lot. It's going to start the day off with the runner-up in the home run derby, Randy Arozarena RBI at plus 145. And then we're going to head on into the Cubs game, where he's going to take their leadoff hitter at plus 230, Nico Hoerner, for the big bag RBI of the day. Then he's going to finish his game with the 2-pack McGick right now, guys, in the last game of the day. And he even go parlay it up for a little single game parlay as well. And that's that Houston Astros, Kyle Tucker's RBI at plus 140, and then Chas McCormick at plus 185 as well for his RBI. We appreciate you more than you know, Mike, as once again you came in, showed up at the last second, gave you an hour, to scrub and go, and appreciate you more than you know. Want to tell these people what you got going on and where they can find you.
You guys know I duck in and out and around Pub Sports Radio. We got things popping off all week long. And Sharpie, I just appreciate you giving me the forum, man. Shout out to Big Show and his wedding. Congratulations, my guy. And the chat, of course, for showing up here and listening to what goes on. But dedication to the craft, Sharpie, is you here in a situation with a small card. You still broke it down and was able to give the people a ton of winners. You call me in. I respect this out of a guy that works hard. And you give me the opportunity to come on the show. I'm never going to say no as long as I'm available, my guy. So shout out to you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Until next week, bro, let's cash some fucking tickets.
Get him.
I didn't want salmon. I said it 4 times. Wedding is horseshit.
Hey, for those showing up for the recap of my pitching bets, do me a favor and smash that like button, as it does help the algorithms a lot, and it does help people find about the best MLB prop show on God's green earth. We only had 4 games to talk about, with 2 of those guys already popping off. And the only bet I have in is he's fucking struggling right now in the first inning in a 3-2 count with 2 runners on. So it's one of those days where I did give out the Burns play this morning, but that doesn't count for our show bet. So hoping Pablo Lopez can turn this first inning bullshit Shaq show around and get us some money in our banks, as I do lean the over on Glasnow. I'm just not hot enough to be playing hold my beer, as I have mixed emotions on the other guys on the board, and they're going. And that's Kirby, who has 2 strikeouts in the first. So it does look like with percentage is the key with Kirby. So those who can live bet, Kirby may be a live betting situational spot, as probably isn't too much farther off his original number other than with some juice on it, and that was a 6.5. Pablo Lopez on a 3-2 count decides to load the fucking bases and put Sharpie directly in the sweat box. So, as you guys already know, this show is sponsored by PrizePicks. If you haven't, go on over there, use that promo code PUBSPORTS. You will get a match deposit of $100, minimum of $25 on your first deposit. Until next time on Sharpie's Bets, our special guests today were Connor Mack Picks and Pimp Slap Play of the Day. Shout out once again to the newest married man, Big Show Picks. And may the baseball gods help me out in this situation I've got myself into with old Pablito. Until next time, guys, let's fucking have a day.
Keep firing, assholes!
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday,